psychological pearls of the Torah.
Yeah, we're talking about psychological pearls from the Torah. Now, just as we heard, Torah is a combination. Torah is a combination between Tov and Ra, good and bad. We've talked about the Nefesh HaBehemi, which is the animal instincts, the Yetzer Hara, okay? Our will in this world, and then we have the Nefesh Eloki, the godly instincts. We have the yearning to the next world. Now, the things that move, right? We're going to take a step over and do things very quickly, getting to the main point. What we do with the animal instinct that we don't want to eat a lot, we don't like to smoke, we don't like to drink, we want to stop doing all kinds of things that are bad for us, whether they be sexually or otherwise, right? All these things together, these come from the animal instinct. Everything that moves, actually, is from the animal instinct. Now, if we understand that, if we try to take the godly instinct, the Nefesh Eloki, and stop doing these things, it won't work. It will make it worse and worse and worse. How do we change? We take this moving kinetic energy, which comes from bad, and we put on it this energy from godly energy, which is good, but it doesn't move things, right? It guides, it changes courses, right? So we take this and we push it, and at the same time we help with the godly instincts, but instead of going to a negative direction, we just move it to a more positive direction. So what we are saying is that everything can function in a different way, and this is what we're talking about when we speak about the great psychotherapist Yitro, as he all called Jethro, right? Who comes to meet Moshe after Moshe has divorced his wife, stayed away from his children, completely separates himself from the nation, right? He's not a rabbi from the streets, okay? He is completely secluded. He thinks he is the Queen of England, right? He's not in a good place. Jethro brings his wife. He brings his children. He said, this is not cool. You've got to do this. And he also does another thing. He tells him he must have law, order. He has to have other people as judges, police, all these different things that we understand by running in the society. Even at the beginning of our state in Israel, right? People came from Morocco, they came from Europe, they came from all over the world, and they took on these jobs as police, as judges, as lawyers, which they never did before. That's where it's coming from. That's why the people of Israel did not complain about Moshe taking care of everything. Moshe taking care of everything was understood by them as what had to be, because they came from a ghetto slave mentality. Now, who didn't come from that mentality? Jethro. And Jethro comes down and he says this must be like this, and Jethro was right. But Moshe argues that it's not right, and Moshe is right. What does this mean? We go back to receiving the Torah on Mount Sinai. And the Torah on Mount Sinai, there was going to be a caste system. And the bigger and the holier Jews and the elders, right? The Skeni were supposed to be in front. Moshe is not up for this. Moshe doesn't like this at all. He says everybody should be accepted from Hashem at the same time. And this also is because going to Pharaoh, right? They found all kinds of excuses, just like rabbis find excuses outside of Israel today, not to say you must come home when all the signs are there, when everything is happening. Things are going on, and it is so wonderful to be part of life and part of the final redemption, Ken. But the whole idea is Moshe is from the godliness that he did not want to make anybody else, even though 600,000 Jews, to ask one question from their rabbi, from their leader, from their psychologist, and it would take him 24 hours a day for a whole year just to answer one person. That means that he was completely flooded. So Yitro brings out these things because they both came from the kingdom, right? From that kingdom, they both understood something. But Moshe understood it on a godly level. And Yitro understood it on a lowly level. He understood it from the point of view of this world. And therefore, he wasn't right, but it had to be done technically. So Moshe accepted it. And that is what we spoke about in the beginning, of taking the Nefesh HaBe'emi and conquering it by the Nefesh HaEloki, the godly soul, conquers the worldly soul and directs it in a different place. May we all be blessed to understand that God takes care of all of our needs, and to be able to see soon the revelation of the Mashiach, of the Messiah, and for you Jews to be able to come home before it's too late.